17th of November 2023, and it is Friday and it is Braaiday. And this is episode 188 of This and That and what the fuck else. It was a wild week for me, and I've done a number of serious Skidmarks and Briekmerke, and there's a lot of responses on the things. And obviously there's people that are very angry, and there's people that are happy with the information that got out. But the reality is, we are sitting with a huge problem in South Africa. I don't know how we're going to resolve it without a catastrophe. But it is Friday, and I decided in this one, I'm going to try and be a little bit more light-hearted. And the slideshow from Russia is quite spectacular for me, but for the guys, there's a great back page. A supporter sent me a collection of images of one specific model, and I must say, it's impressive. But let's get Russia. Sunset by the sea. Primorsky Krai in the far east of Russia. Would you like to meet the sunset like this, with a mug of hot tea or coffee? Enjoy the view. I can just imagine what it must be like to actually experience that. And then we go to China, and it's a Cabana Alfred. Chinese learners can get up to 7 years in jail for cheating in an exam. In South Africa, we don't prosecute them, but we encourage them to cheat more. It is absolutely tragic. And I was in a discussion with a guy last night, and we talked about this, and I asked him, from his view as a black guy, what does he see as the most serious threat to stability in South Africa? And he mentioned education. It was quite interesting. And that's the reality. We're sitting with about 20 million people, young people, uneducated, unskilled, undisciplined. And that is a major problem, because you cannot debate or reason with those people. And I have mentioned it many times that SASA brigade, I'm beginning to get the idea I said they bred for the purpose, and I'm beginning to get the idea that part of their purpose is to destroy the black communities. Take note of that. And more from China. Titans of capitalism clapping for communist leader Xi Jinping at the APEC dinner last night in San Francisco. The cognitive dissonance of Americans who hate China, CCP, CPC, is pure comedy. Who sat at Xi's table? 20 CEOs. Apple, BlackRock, MasterCard, Qualcomm, Pfizer, FedEx, etc. Anyone with a brain knows that China is the future. And I agree with him. And I cannot believe it that after this meeting, for a hell of a long time, China refused to communicate with America. And then Xi Jinping agreed to go to that conference in San Francisco. And he met with Biden. And within minutes after Xi Jinping left the meeting, Biden once again said, Xi Jinping is a dictator. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with us. And then we get to South Africa, and this intellectual giant, Lesotho, he tried to destroy the total education system in Gauteng. And he was very successful on his mission. Fortunately, a few schools survived. But now he set his sights on some bigger stuff. Gauteng ready to go cashless by 2024, says Premier Lesofie. Now, all I'm going to say, Lesofie is actually saying, fuck the poor people, fuck the informal traders, fuck the hawkers. That's what he's saying. But he's actually taking it further and saying, fuck the people, fuck the commerce, because he wants to go cashless. That means, 1, you must have a smartphone. 2, you've got to have electricity. Not every person living in Gauteng has got a smartphone, and we know what electricity is. But this is a type of decisions that is driven by low IQ. And you can be as angry as you like. Stupid people cannot govern a country. But stupid voters vote for stupid people to govern them. And I have mentioned a while back that there is certain blacks that are of the belief that you can get good education on the interwebs. And Zapiro came out with these. Take a look and smile. Meet Denzel, till lately in marketing. PhD epidemiology, University of WhatsApp. Oh, we know those things. We know those students. We know them, those graduates. This is Tandi, previously in cosmetic sales. MSc Microbial Genetics, University of Google. And here is Sanjay, formerly accountant, BEc Honours Virology, University of YouTube. And you may have come across Karen, former occupation unknown, PhD Immunology and a professor of everything, University of Facebook. And she says, keep spreading the knowledge. Now, a lot of this is reflecting on what happened during the pestilence. That this is the reality. These are the types of people that dictated the fucking actions of the authorities during that pestilence. And I mean, we see there was artists, leading artist figures that pushed their colleagues like hell to take the bite, and now the people are dropping. Now I wonder how those people sleep at night. A few of them blocked me on Twitter because I asked them what would they do if it turns out to be a fuck up. But here we are. And then we get to this meme. The one thing I love about conservative women is you never have to ask, is that a woman? And I agree wholeheartedly with it. And you guys that know me, that follow the channel, know that I've got a great admiration for females, and I've got a lot of respect for females. And this is it. And then we get this one, and this one is now relevant to the times that we live in. If you run naked around a tree at a speed of 185,999 miles per second, there is a distinct possibility of fucking yourself. Or you can vote for the ANC to obtain the exact same effect. Albert Einstein. And this one is for those people that are still confused about Israel. The biblical Israelites and the state of Israel, which the Rothschilds created in 1947, are not the same. Do you understand this yet? Or do I need to say it 10 more times? I've got a real good friend that is absolutely 100% committed to the Zionists. And then we get to this guy. I think it is clear that Julius Malema is the biggest traitor in South African history. He continuously holds hate rallies. He is a phony dictator who's a corrupt, pathological liar. He is stoking cold civil war in our country. He is assailing our institutions, traditions, and is a party to the regression of democracy. He is mentally unfit. He needs to be booted out of Parliament, arrested, and charged for his multiple crimes. This is a national emergency, and it was Gulam that tweeted this. And I agree 100% with Gulam, because this guy is just a destroyer. I have said to a guy last night in a discussion we had, he said, show me one, just one school that Julius Malema used the EFF's resources to build that school from zero, complete it, equip it, put teachers in there, and students. Just one. Show me just one. Or show me just one major industrial project that he initiated and then drove the thing to fruition, and we ended up with 500 job opportunities and a production. Just one. Show me just one. Or show me one investor that Julius Malema has brought to South Africa that invested big time in a community and created job opportunities for 500 people. Show me one. Just one. But I can show you the results of his shit in how many schools have been burned down, how many libraries have been destroyed, how many portions of universities have been destroyed, how many shops have been looted, how many small businesses have been driven out of business with the subsequent loss of jobs. Of that, there are hundreds of examples. That is what Malema is, a destructive force, a force of destruction. But the problem is, his followers is mostly the Sasa Brigade. They are uneducated, unskilled, and undisciplined. And in my discussion with a black guy last night, he said to me that FNB stadium, all those people sitting there, if you go and you do some investigation, which they did, the vast majority of those people were not South Africans, but immigrants, illegal immigrants. The bulk of them was there for the food packet, parcel, and the t-shirt. And a very small percentage of that crowd actually supports the EFF. And then I said to him, but be it as it may, it was a great PR success. But unfortunately, we cannot discuss these things with the typical EFF supporter. And then I remind you of this tweet from Julius Malema himself. Gone are the days when Zimbabweans came to South Africa to find jobs. Now they come to have kids, so to benefit from social grants. And he doesn't see a problem with that. Those millions that are streaming over our borders and taking up the services, healthcare services, education services, are driving South Africans out of those services. And then the ugly part is that many of them actually collect SASSA benefits. Now, I don't know how high your IQ must be before you understand that that is a fuck up and it's not sustainable. So, we are sitting with it. But Julius Malema, this is what he's promoting. He is a destructive force. And then again from Sir Kabona Alfred. In the US, blacks are a minority, but they are the most convicted for crimes. In the UK, blacks are a minority, but they are the most convicted for crimes. In France, blacks are a minority, but they are the most convicted for crimes. In Italy, blacks are a minority, but they are the most convicted for crimes. In Germany, blacks are a minority, but they are the most convicted for crimes. In South Africa, blacks are the majority, and they are the most convicted for crimes. In South Africa, whites are a minority and less convicted for crimes. And you may hate him, but prove him wrong. Prove him wrong. And then from Levi, Africans were killing each other for no tangible reasons before Europeans arrived, and they continue to do so after Europeans have left. And we're supposed to believe that the colonists interrupted Africa's development? They didn't. Africans never planned to civilize themselves. That's hard words, but the evidence points to support him. And this is now something interesting for those Russophobes staying in South Africa. To the memory of those Russians who fought for the Boers in the Anglo-Boer War, and some of whom lost their lives for the Boer cause. And let that sink in. And then we get this from Ukraine, and this was very disturbing. It was a video, and I decided not to put the video up. What happened here is some Russian soldiers cornered Ukrainian soldiers, and the Ukrainian soldiers surrendered. And in the video, the Ukrainian soldier is sitting with his back facing the camera and the approaching Russian soldiers, and the soldier had his hand to the air like this, hands up. And when the Russian soldier got close to this Ukrainian, she spoke out. It was a woman, and she said, "Just don't hit me, I am pregnant." And David Roth Lindbergh tweeted, "Kiev sending pregnant women straight to the front lines." Not that I'm surprised, but this. And then there's people that think that fucking Zelensky is a hero. He's a coke-sniffing fucking criminal. How can you send pregnant women to the front line? Think about that. And then we get to more from the Ukraine. Americans are beginning to realize that they have been sponsoring a drug addict all along. Dear warmongers, specifically supporting Ukraine funding in the name of democracy, but fail to mention the following that Zelensky has done: cancelled elections, censored non-state media, suspended opposition parties, effectively banned the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, arrested priests. None of the above is consistent with America. Please stop gaslighting the American people, not one penny more. And I agree. But it looks like the Americans are waking up. It looks like it. Then we get to South Africa, and I have to treat you to this image. This is a whole minister, a complete cabinet member. Look at that eyes. The wheels are turning and the lights is on, but the hamster has fucked off. That's the minister in charge of the SASSA program. And then we get this information. 6 million rand tender. Former Eskom technician allegedly scored a lucrative tender while working for the power utility. Why are we not surprised? We are totally desensitized for the obscene volumes of money that are being stolen. And we've got Christonel. What I have noticed is that they use private health care. Even the majority who work in state hospitals, etc., use their medical aid to go to private service providers. Question: is it not time to force them, the ministers, MPs and all government employees, to use their own screwed up facilities? Very legitimate. That should be the rule. Well, that was the rule during apartheid. And then we have this from Vivi Patriot. Harvard economist placed the economic collapse of South Africa at the door of the ANC's BEE and cadre deployment policies. Who doesn't know that? You place an inexperienced ignoramus at the engineer's post at Eskom. What do you expect? Very good question, and we see the results of it. Everything is destroyed. There's nothing that is functioning anymore. Eskom is hanging on by its nails. And then we get to this, and that is about that reference party in the Cape. And I initially were quite positive about them, and then I got this last night. A vote for the referendum party will be a vote for the DA-led Western Cape. In all circumstances, we promise to vote with the DA to form a government and against the ANC. In 2021, the ANC and EFF combined obtained just 23% of the Western Cape vote. Any person or party who attempts to scare voters into voting against the referendum party in order to keep the ANC out is being inherently dishonest. The ANC are dead in the Western Cape and they are not coming back. Summary: RP vote is a DA vote. Now, I have said it in my earlier Skidmark, Briekmerke, or Skidmark, I can't remember. I was positive about this referendum party, but I'm out of that party now. I'm not supporting that shit. They are nothing more than a DA protest movement. So they don't have a future. They do not have a plan. They got fuck all. All they want is just enough votes to push for a referendum. But why then leave your traditional parties or even the DA and vote for it? Why? And there is an immigrant in charge of that movement. And then we get to this one. Nomvula Mkonyana. She tweeted, "Today in Erasmia we had a meaningful gathering with friends of the Palestine. The discussions were productive and we anticipate positive outcomes that will contribute to the well-being of the Palestinian people. Our commitment to supporting Palestine remains steadfast." Now, I'm quite surprised. When do they hold meetings like this about the high crime levels in our communities, about the high murder rate, 70 people a day, 70 people a day. That is almost 500 a week. That is 2,000 a month. That is a horrific fucking death toll. That is war statistics. But yet, they have time to do things like this for Palestine. When is this hypocrisy going to be called out by the voters? When? But we've got a slim chance of that because, again, the bulk of the voters are uneducated and they don't know. They don't have the ability to tie their actions to consequences. But it's Friday, and now This one is now the back page for the manne, and please, the prudes, close your eyes and you can open it when the music stops, because this is for real men and real women that can appreciate a woman. This is a fantastic model. I'm actually impressed, and thank you to the user that sent this set of images to me. Enjoy. Wow, that is a good looking girl. I like her a lot. But it is Friday and it is weekend. Enjoy your weekend, but be careful. And remember, your own actions and conduct will have a massive influence on your life. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing, and thank you for your support.